What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to another video. I just got done watching the first race of the Dover Doubleheaders, and I have to say that while this race was not a great race at Dover National Speedway, it was not a bad race either. I thought today's race was a really solid race. Today, we pretty much saw that Denny Hamlin pretty much just flat out dominated this race. He had the best car all day. Congratulations to Denny Hamlin on scoring his 6th win of the season and his first ever victory at the Monster Mile. Currently at the moment, I think that this championship is really between Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin. Those two have just flat out dominated in 2020, and they have now won half of the races in up to this point in 2020. 12 wins combined, Harvick having 6 and Hamlin with 6. Let's go through the other storylines and overall go through the racing as well. Really the beginning of the race is where we're going to start. So lap 8, the aggression already was beginning. We had basically a three-car wreck that took place on lap 8. Erik Jones was trying to make a pass on Kurt Busch early in this race, and there would be some contact that would end up taking place. Kurt Busch would spin out and hit the inside wall. He would actually end up finishing last in this race. It looked like there was a good chance that Kurt Busch would clinch his spot into the playoffs. That would not be the case here. He will have a chance to do that, though, tomorrow at Dover National Speedway. Also, Erik Jones and Alex Bowman were involved in the crash. Erik Jones, though, would kind of bounce back to a pretty decent finish, and Alex Bowman kind of just was irrelevant most of the day. I think he did finish top 20, though, but I think he has to go to the backup car because of the damage. And then we're going to talk about another instance that took place late in this race. Basically, Ryan Preece pulled a Quinn Houff or a J.J. Yeley. He decides to come down pit road from the third lane really late, almost missed the pit road. And Jimmie Johnson basically nearly clobbered Ryan Preece. Not only could have injured Jimmie Johnson, but in all seriousness, this could have killed Jimmie Johnson's hopes of making the playoffs. But Jimmie Johnson had an incredible save in that race and basically saved his day and basically saved his chance to get in the playoffs. Ryan Preece, I don't know what you're doing. In my opinion, he probably should have gotten a pretty big penalty in this race. Probably at least a lap penalty, probably sitting in pit road for at least a lap, because that is ridiculous. NASCAR's got to start enforcing rules, especially for that, because guys should not be making decisions like that to go down from the third lane to the first lane, because especially with a situation where you have a playoff driver contending for the win, you cannot be pulling that crap. And Ryan Preece only really has a chance at Daytona. He was running like 18th in the race at the time, so he wasn't really bad. JDG Dore was actually having a pretty good day. But my God, Ryan Preece, that was a really bad judgment call. That was, and not at least not as bad as Quinn Houff, but my God, that was really stupid. Basically, this was the JGR dominant day. Like I mentioned, Denny Hamlin was able to score the win today. Mark Truex Jr., let's get into him. Let's go out into the race results. Denny Hamlin, like I said, today won his first ever race at Dover National Speedway and got his 43rd Career Cup Series victory. JGR was actually able to finish in the top 3, with Mark Truex Jr. finishing second, led 88 laps in this race, had a very strong run here at Dover National Speedway. Kyle Busch had a very strong run in third place. He had to start about 22nd in the race. Kyle comes back and gets a really strong run. At the end of the race, Mark Truex Jr. and Denny Hamlin put on a really good show at the end of the day. And Truex really kind of got screwed by Eric Almirola. It looked like Truex is honestly going to win the race today. But a second place finish, a great run for Truex, but it sucks that Hamlin won because sometimes I get tired of Hamlin winning, but you know what? It is what it is. Kevin Harvick finished his 4th. Kevin Harvick had to come back down pit road due to, I believe, a loose wheel. Still rebounds a 4th place finish, so I still got Harvick on my mark to go out there and win tomorrow. He's starting 17th tomorrow in the race. Want to see how he does. Chase Elliott finished 5th in this race. Chase Elliott at the beginning of this race looked like he had the fastest car in the race, but because some strategy did take place early in the stage, he had a little bit of contact with the next guy we'll be talking about, Clint Bowyer. He got contact with him. He got some damage. It never really had the same car he did, but a 5th place run, good run for him. Clint Bowyer finished at 6th, a very solid day. That's going to help him keep him above that cutoff line. He's got like an 80 points above the cutoff line right now. Clint Bowyer, good run there. Jimmie Johnson put together a very strong race. 2 back-to-back top 10 finishes. Again, Jimmie needs runs like this. And now I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he is above the cutoff line. going into tomorrow's race with 2 races to go. Jimmie, really strong run. They put together a really good race. They ran top 5 a lot of the day. Kind of had a really slow pit stop later in the race during the second stage where they lost some time on pit road. 7th place run, though, really good. Joey Logano 8th. Brad Keselowski finished his 9th. And Ricky Stenhouse Jr. gets a solid top 10 finish. Great run for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Cole Custer, the rookie, finishes 11th. Again, he's been putting together recently, especially since that win in Kentucky. He has been putting together a really solid second half of the year. And another great run for Cole Custer. Strong run there. Eric Jones rebounds to a 12th place finish. Strong run for Eric Jones. Good day overall for the Joe Gibbs Racing organization. 12th place Eric Jones. Great run there. Tyler Reddick finishes 13th. Not going to gain as many points as Eric Jones or Jimmie Johnson is. But again, Tyler Reddick at this point is pretty much in a must-win situation. If he does not do very well, I think he really needs to be within 25 to 30 points within that playoff cutoff line to really have a chance. Ryan Blaney finishes 14th. Blaney was irrelevant all day. I mean, he was not a contender at all in the race. 14th place, not great, not terrible. Just I expect a little bit more from Blaney. Austin Dillon finishes 15th. Austin Dillon led a lot of this race well due to playing strategy throughout the race. Austin Dillon finishes 15th. I'm glad to see him back in the car. Remember, he did miss the race last week at Daytona due to testing positive for COVID-19. I was rooting for Austin Dillon to have a very strong run. 15th place, that's a good run there. Chris Buescher finishes 16th, not a bad run. Eric Almirola finishes 17th. Ty Dillon 18th. Ryan Newman finishes 19th. And Matt DiBenedetto, finishes 20th. 21st place, Alex Bowman. 22nd, Christopher Bell. 23rd, Matt Kenseth. 24th, John Hunter Nemechek. 25th, Ryan Preece. 26th, Michael McDowell. 27th, Bubba Wallace. 28th, William Byron. William Byron had a really, really bad day. They did not have their crap together whatsoever, it looks like. And if they're going to really hope to still be alive in the playoffs and not have to really rely on a ton of road course, they've got to get that car figured out for tomorrow. Because if they don't get their car figured out, there is no chance, in my opinion, they're going to be contending out there for a playoff spot. 29th place, Corey LaJoie. We all know that Corey LaJoie will not be returning to go fast racing next year. Hoping to finish off the year strong. 29th place, another top 30 run, not bad. And Daniel Suarez finished 30th. I think if I'm not mistaken, Daniel Suarez only has had like 1 or 2 finishes this year outside of top 30. So he's putting together a pretty solid year. JJ Yeley, 31st. 32nd, Josh Bilicki. 33rd, Quinn Houff. 34th, Timmy Hill. 35th, Joey Gase. 36th, Brendan Poole. 37th, Garrett Smithley. 38th, BJ McLeod. Reed Sorensen, 39th. And finishing last in 40th place is Kurt Busch. Now let's go and talk about the race a little bit more. Honestly, I thought the first race at Dover National Speedway was a solid race. Usually, the first race, especially of these doubleheaders, are kind of a little bit more calmer than the second race. I think a lot of guys were trying to save their stuff, especially since they got to race this car again tomorrow. And you really don't want to go to the backup car, because especially since Dover is a difficult track to pass. Even though I think Dover did put together a pretty good show, and it was kind of easier to pass than last year's race, it was still difficult to pass. We saw a lot of strategy, and in general, I thought today's race put on a pretty good show. I think the 750 horsepower package with the low downforce and a high horsepower package, I think in general always puts on a really good show. Big motor, small blade is a lot better than what we've seen. And I think the broadcast in general did a really good job. Yes, we did have a cutoff. NBC had a Fox Sports 1 moment, but sometimes that does happen. We sometimes lose a broadcast and we're in the middle of a pandemic. So there's more things that are important currently at the moment. But honestly, I thought today's race was pretty good. I'm going to give this race a 7.5 out of 10. I wish there was a little bit more passing in the race, but we saw a lot of solid racing. And I'm going to give Dover a solid score here for race number 1. We've got another race at Dover National Speedway tomorrow, but we also do have the Indianapolis 500 right before the greatest spectacle, the best race in the world will be happening tomorrow as well. Anyway, congratulations to Denny Hamlin on winning 6th race of the year and his 43rd race of his NASCAR Cup Series career. I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on so you'll be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Link description below for that. And comment below your thoughts on today's video. What did you think of today's race? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. And I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.